Okay, now we're going to take you through reassembly, but also a little safety functions check, things you need to keep an eye out for with your Glock to keep it running, keep it safe. Jeff.
Like Larry mentioned, before we do full assembly on this, we're going to do a couple of function checks. The first thing I normally start with is on the slide. What I'll do is I'll take the slide, I'll hold it up, and I'll press the firing pin safety, and I'll shake the slide. If I hear that noise, if I can hear the striker cycling up and down in the firing channel, I know that we're good. The second check I'll do is I'll take the slide and invert it, and then I'll take the lug on the back of the firing pin and I'll push down on it, and I'll take my other finger or visually inspect the breech face, and if I don't see the firing pin tip, I know we're good. Then what I'll do is I'll take the firing pin safety, I'll press it, then I'll drop the, apply pressure on the lug on the firing pin, and then feel the breech face. If I feel the firing pin tip protrude through, I know that we're good. Then I'll draw it up with my finger. If that goes away and the firing pin lock comes up, that's a successful safety check. Okay, next I'll move to the frame. The first safety check I'll do on here is with the barrel. What I want to make sure is that if I've serviced the slide lock, if I've removed it, or if it's worn excessively, I want to check the condition of it. I'll take just the frame itself, and I'll take the barrel, and I'll engage it in the frame how it would normally be. And then I'll take and I'll slowly tip the frame and make sure that that barrel doesn't fall off. If it hangs on the frame upside down like that, we know we're successful and the slide lock is working perfectly. I'll set the barrel aside. And the last check I'll do is I'll take the trigger and I'll cycle it forward in the frame and look at the trigger safety and make sure it's engaging properly. I'll apply pressure on the sides of the trigger to make sure that I can't drop and move the trigger bar. And then I'll move the trigger forward a little bit. I'll press the trigger safety. And if it goes all the way to the rear, we know we've done a successful safety check there as well. Then I'll leave the trigger in the rearward position, and now we're ready to put the gun together. So I'll take the slide and insert the barrel, just like I removed it, set it back. I'll take the recoil spring assembly and then insert it into the front of the slide, push on the back of it, and make sure it's fully seated in the barrel. It's got to be in that little crescent cutaway in the bottom of the barrel. If it's moved up, when you go to assemble it on the slide, you're going to have all kinds of issues trying to get the slide to lock in place. So now we're good to go. We'll take the slide, stick it on the frame. Cycle it a couple times. I know it's good. Make sure the trigger, the weapon is pointed in the safe place. Press the trigger. Everything seems normal. I'll cycle the slide with the trigger held all the way to the rear. Let it go forward. It resets properly. We're good to go.
Good deal. Now let me throw in a couple of my tips for you. First off, you want to make sure your sights are snug. It's not uncommon, especially with the front sight, if they're put in by a gun shop or whatnot and they haven't put them in right, they haven't Loctited them. Over time, as you fire the gun, the front sight will start coming loose.
Who here has had a front sight fall off in a class?
Dude, yeah, absolutely. Not uncommon at all. So you want to make sure your sights, particularly your front, but also the rear, you want to make sure they're tight, they're snug. Now, slide stop, one thing you want to make sure, lock the slide stop to the rear. You should be able, with the magazine out of the gun, that's key, be able to pull the slide to the rear, and then the slide stop pops down under spring tension, back down, resting against the frame. All right, that's critical. Now you want to make sure too, mag's out, because it's not going to do it with the mag in. You can sit there and go, it's not working. With a mag, the follower's keeping it locked up. Mag's out, I pull the slide to the rear, slide stop pops down, slide goes forward, good to go. Also, magazine. You want to make sure that when I hit my magazine release, to press my magazine release, the mag drops out. Not uncommon, these are polymer frame pistol, polymer magazines. They can get a burr or whatnot, and it doesn't take much to keep a magazine from hanging up. So you want to make sure when you hit your magazine release, mag drops out cleanly.
And there's another factor that will prevent that from dropping clear as well, and we'll talk about that in upcoming chapters.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed it. A lot of lessons learned from Jeff and I. We got a lot of rounds downrange with Glock, so take advantage of this knowledge.